time all things at once without.
Hello, friends. Happy Monday to you. I am feeling great today. I hope you are too. My name's Lynn Clementi Hicks. I'm here to talk to you about what's going on with our fertility journey, our fostering journey, and also check in with you and support you in whatever journey you're going on too. So if it's your first time catching me live, please let me know in the comments. Say that you're new. Let me know where you're watching from. Let me know what journey you're on. I would love to get to know you. We've got a lot of regulars around here. I see you guys all saying hello. Let's pop over to the chat real quick and greet our viewers. Hello, Laura. Thanks for watching today. Great to see you here, Marcus. As usual, wonderful to see you. We need to reconnect so I can get on your show. I know we were really close, and we need to make it happen. We're getting there. My mother, Denise, my sister, and my sister-in-law. And she's not new, making that clear. Of course. Thanks, guys, for saying hi. And anyone else that's not watching and not participating in the chat, that's fine too. Totally cool. Love knowing that you're there. And also just to mention, I live stream this to two places. One is the YouTube channel. And if you want to find me on YouTube, it's just under my name, Lynn Clementi. And then the other place I live stream to is Facebook on the Baby Talk page that I made. So just in case you want two different places to watch me, there you go. Oh my God, I'm smiling so much my cheeks hurt today. Let's dive in. Why am I smiling so much? So we'll begin with the beginning of the day because that is where some of the magic happened. As many of you guys know, we had a miscarriage earlier this year. About, let's see here, August, I think it was. It's December now. So a few months ago, I've had 3 menstrual cycles since then. I know I'm throwing a lot of stuff at you here, but first cycle, when I finally got it again, seemed normal. Second cycle, not so normal. It lasted a lot longer than usual. Third cycle that just ended a couple weeks ago was back to normal, but, with a little bit of spotting afterwards. So just, some cause for concern. You just got to get that kind of stuff checked out. Now, when I went through my miscarriage, there's kind of 3 ways that a miscarriage can go down. One is you can carry it out naturally, let your body just do what it does. You can get medicated, which kind of helps things move along quicker. Sorry, I'm clearing my throat a little bit. I'm at the very teeny tiny tail end of this cold. And then back to this miscarriage thing. And then the other thing you can do is once you find out that the pregnancy is no longer viable, is you can get a D&C, dilation and curettage. Cutterage? Not a doctor. I just have learned these words as I go along in my journey. Mine was a natural miscarriage, which means everything cleared out on its own. But I never really went back in to make sure that everything actually did clear out. But after a few cycles of kind of things not being back to normal completely, I'm like, maybe I should go get checked out. So that's what today was. Now, with that information, you might understand why I went into that appointment expecting things not to be a great news, Usually what I was expecting is that they would tell me, oh, there's a lot of tissue left in there and we're going to need to do a D&C. And that happens. Your body just doesn't do a good job of, getting rid of everything on its own and needs a little bit of help. So I was really excited to hear that everything actually looks great inside of my, I guess that would be my uterine cavity, my uterus. I'm so sorry for how froggy I am right now. So this is it's a hysteroscopy is the name of the exam that I had this morning. And the roots here on my channel is that I share these things with you so that if you know someone going through this or you're going through it, you've got this information. You're not alone, and you can kind of hear, what's involved in all this. So the hysteroscopy, they'll send a camera basically up through your cervix into your uterus so that they can see what's going on in there. It has a little light at the end of it, and it's like a very long, very long, very thin, very small thing. Does it feel great? No, it does not. But it also is not as painful as some other procedures, so I'm not going to complain. Bert, if you're listening, Kim is requesting some tea and honey for my throat. I will not say no to that. But it's also very hard right now. We have some plastic up in the kitchen. We're doing a renovation project, so that might not be easy for him to do for me. But thanks, Kim. That was the comment from her. So back to everything that happened this morning. So I actually get to see the inside of me on the camera with the doctor saying it's pretty cool if you're into that kind of thing. I think like Lynn from the rest of my life, like before 2021, probably would have passed out from that kind of a thing. But Lynn 2021 is a new Lynn. She's fine with shots, blood, medical procedures, whatever. Throw it at me. I won't pass out anymore. Boom. We had a great... so a light at the end of the tunnel. Exactly. There's a light basically going through my tunnel. Was that too far? I don't think so. Okay, so we had good results from that. Ladies, if you've ever had this done before, they pump like a fluid into you. That's kind of the uncomfortable part. So there's light, there's fluid, there's a thing. The fluid kind of makes everything so it's expanded inside you. And mind you, on top of all this, they tell you to chug 30 ounces of water an hour before the procedure. So you've got a full bladder so that everything is not tilted and, it's in the right position for everything to get in. So you're doing all this and they put some pressure on you with it's a lot, guys. It's not comfortable. But what he did do is he saw there was a little bit of tissue in there. He's like, I don't think it's enough for you to have to go and get a whole DNC. So I'm just going to try and kind of like poke at it with the with the camera. So it was really interesting to see the camera like going towards this tissue that was kind of like, very on the screen. It's huge, but like in real life, it's teeny tiny. And he's just trying to knock it loose. So that it comes out. But he said, all in all, everything looks great and that we should be able to move forward. And he said, don't do the baby dance tonight. Let everything kind of recover because sometimes there's spotting after a procedure like that. But we'll be able to try tomorrow. And, hopefully it is around that time of the month where, I'm ovulating and could happen. So we'll see. That whole procedure, hysteroscopy, kind of uncomfortable, but also not that bad. And if anybody out there has one coming up and has any questions about it, I'm happy to talk to you about it. It's a very routine procedure, especially when you're starting to get into like fertility treatments or even if you're just going to, your gynecologist and they want to check to see how things are doing. It's not as normal as a pap smear, but not that uncommon. I've had 3 of them already. Okay. So that was great news. I was really excited to hear that things are clear and that we should be able to keep on trying naturally and things could possibly work out. Next, while I was at work today, I got a phone call from DCFS. Now, I was really looking forward to hearing back from Lydia Home, who we had applied to foster through, and they said they were supposed to get back to us within a week. It had been more than a week. So I said, you know what? I'm going to just try another avenue at the same time. Kind of, we're trying to have a baby. We're also trying to foster kids. You got to kind of try multiple routes sometimes to get your end result. And DCFS, I had applied, I think, last week. Now I would have to go back and kind of check my notes. But they called me today. And we're starting the process, guys. This is really exciting. They asked me a few follow-up questions that weren't on the original application. We got Bert's name into the system along with mine. We have next steps of hearing from another person who's going to be contacting us to then go through the official application process, which is the background check and fingerprinting, which we've already done. So I think that we'll actually kind of be able to jump forward on that. They'll follow up with our references, which we've already checked with all of our references, have those names lined up for them, so we'll be able to hand those right over. Once all of that is done, they said it's supposed to be 3 to 4 months before we'll get a placement. So I don't actually know how long this next part will be because it's also where they're going to come into our home and they're going to check for a few things. So if you're going through or considering fostering, these are some good notes to know. It's not a long list, but it's they're looking for hot water. Make sure you have hot water, that your house is structurally sound. They did ask me if I rent or own. I don't know that it would have made a difference, but we own. We have a house. But I don't think that actually matters. Just a heads up. They are going to come and measure the room that you intend to use for fostering the kids. So whatever bedroom that they will have. If you have multiple rooms, they'll measure multiple rooms. They're going to check for the smoke detector and carbon monoxide detector, make sure that they're working and that it's clean. So Bert and I, as you guys know, I've been talking about this for several weeks. We're finishing up the drywall in our living room. Bert actually is tackling my bathroom, and he got the tile put back in today. So my shower should be back in place by this weekend. I'm almost done in the kitchen, patching up the hole from underneath my bathroom, which is where we had some water leakage. So that's almost done. I'm pumped, guys. I think that this is actually starting to come together, and knowing that someone's going to come into our house to make sure everything's structurally sound and clean is super motivating to get all these projects done. I'm really can you tell how excited I am right now? I can't wait. Oh my gosh. Hi, Laura. This is, yes. Okay. It's similar to an HSG test, where they inject the dye and x-ray your uterus and fallopian tubes, just no camera. Yes, it is often done. These two exams are often done at the same time, and I've had that combo done twice. Today, they just didn't need to check my fallopian tubes. So funny story about that, though, is when the last time I had this test and they did do the ink in my fallopian tubes, they said possibly one of them is blocked, but this happens sometimes where it actually just has a spasm and it just kind of seizes. And then, as much as they try to open it up, your fallopian tube actually just does not let it happen. So it's an interesting test that they have to do. And it's weird because the first time I did it, they said tubes are clear. And the fertility doctor wanted to do it again. I guess it was 6 months later, and that's when it had seized up. And I'm like, well, I think that it's open. And he's like, we could do it again. I'm like, no, thanks so much. But that's the really painful part, is when they actually try to put the dye into your fallopian tubes and watch that. It's very uncomfortable. Yeah. So yes, all the loves. Thank you, and so exciting. Did you tell DCFS that you are finishing up a project? So I did not on this call. This call was more of kind of the first person's going to collect this information and hand it off to the person who in the next 5 days will be contacting us to do these next steps. So I think that would be the person that I tell that we're doing a project if it's not done yet. So I don't think they weren't looking for that information on this call. And I actually spoke to a friend of mine who fostered, and she said, yeah, that probably won't be an issue if you just tell them what's going on. That's not even going to be something that prevents them from moving forward in the process. So I'm not super worried about it being an issue. Hey Sammy, thanks for saying hello. Nice to see you always. Appreciate the shout out. Okay, and then what was some other good news? Okay, and I know that my friend, one of the girls in my support group, there's me and 3 other women that have all been going through a lot of this together, and I have a lot of separate women, but this came from the support group formed when we all did the kind of group sessions with Lauren, my good friend Lauren Fallon, and yeah, this group continued on after that kind of 8-week or 9-week session was over. One of the girls in my group today got a big fat positive, which is really, really exciting. It's always so cool when one of the people that you've been going through this journey with is has a successful day. And it just made me it just reminded me to bring that into today's episode, to celebrate the wins along the way, right? You might have the end goal, which is to have a baby someday, right? in our case, I guess, or to grow our family. But there's these little things along the way that get you there. And it's so important, even though it's not the end goal, to celebrate the little wins, because that's what gives you hope to keep on going. And heck, we just need little things to celebrate sometimes, right? So, I don't know. I'm pumped because even though it's not my personal win, it is a win of someone that's been very supportive of me. So it feels like a win for me too. Oh, Cat Fund. Yes. Marcus, thank you. Thank you so much. This is a great segue. Our porch cat, Jasper, has apparently shown up on other people's porches now, people are leaving out food and water. And are you guys part of these, what are they, like social media, like neighborhood groups and stuff like that? There's some on Facebook. You can join whatever the ones, there's a specific app for it. Bert's kind of the representative of our household on the social media neighborhood apps. But he showed me a picture of Jasper, and somebody else had posted that they've been feeding Jasper as well. And the neighbor was suggesting that other people also leave out food and water for the cats this winter in our neighborhood because there are so many of them. So, Marcus, the food that we have purchased from your generous donations on Buy Me a Coffee, we have the bag of cat food in our front closet so that we can just bring it out to the porch and put it in the bowl. Well, Alex, our cat that we live with here in our house, has found that bag of food, and if we are not careful and we leave that door open, Alex goes in there and she's actually created a hole in the side of that bag and started to eat that cat food. So thank you for also feeding our house cat as well, a little bit. Okay, and one more cat story real quick. Have you guys seen this movie, A Boy Called Christmas? It's on Netflix. Let me know in the chat if anyone else has watched this yet. It's a really cute Christmas story. Nice for families, nice for couples, nice for whatever. Yeah, it's kid friendly and everything, but Bert and I sometimes just like, indulging in these like Christmas movies. It just puts us in the good Christmas spirit, good mood. And in this movie, I'm not giving anything big away, but the main character is a boy, and he has a little mouse that kind of hangs out on his shoulder. Okay, now Joe, who likes to curl up with us when we're watching, movies and TVs and stuff like that. Joe's our cat. Joe looked over at the screen and saw this mouse, or maybe one of the noises that came from it, and it got his attention, and he looked and he saw this mouse on the screen, and he's like, cat instinct. Oh my God, I want to follow this mouse. So he was watching the movie, like just first on the couch with us, and then he moved to the floor and didn't just lay there, like was sitting totally alert, staring at the screen, totally mesmerized, going back and forth wherever the mouse was on the screen, watching it. And then the mouse, there was a scene where it kind of like ran into the boy's like scarf or something. He couldn't see it anymore. So Joe puts his paws up on to the TV stand, and he's like looking like, where did it go? Where is it? And he starts chatting at the screen. It was so funny. Our cat Joe watched that entire movie. Usually like he'll watch something for a little while, like it'll catch his attention. He didn't take his eyes off until the end when it was completely over. I've never seen our cat do that before. Just wanted to share that little cat story with you. So if you've got a cat, I highly recommend A Boy Called Christmas. Boy Named Christmas. Good movie. Doesn't look like from the chat anyone else has seen that before, which is totally fine. It only came out this year, so it is a new release. But it's on Netflix. Check it out. Okay. So what other good news? We've got, so I updated you on fostering. Bert and I are both officially clear to do more volunteering with Lydia Home. The nice thing about the holidays is lots of people like volunteering and stuff. So all the volunteer spots for December were already taken by the time we got completely cleared to volunteer, which is great for the kids. But looks like the next session that we'll be doing with them is actually going to be in January. We don't have a date set, but I'll keep you guys posted and let you guys know what our plans are and how it goes. And also if Lydia Home ever decides to get back to me on whether they want us to foster through them or not. So we'll just kind of see how this goes. But right now DCFS seems to be working out great. They don't do in-person classes anymore, so that's the cool thing. We'll be able to do all the classes through Zoom and online, which is nice. I kind of feel like that's going to help us kind of get through the whole training and everything that we have to do for fostering faster. I'm so excited. I can't wait. I'm pumped to make this happen. I really am. I asked Bert if he wanted to be on the show with me today. I don't know, Elliot, if you're still watching because you had requested him, but he said, nope, you got this, babe. So we'll have to wait until a bigger announcement to have him on again. But I can tell you that he is also very excited. I shared the news with him on both accounts, first after my appointment today, and also that DCFS reached out, and he was very excited for both. So, oh good. You guys watched A Boy Called Christmas, but you guys don't have a cat, so you can't share in the same, amazement. The cats love this movie too. I'll let you borrow mine if you need to, Dad, if you want to rewatch it again. I'm sure Joe would watch it with you. Okay, so let's talk about you guys. I feel like I haven't checked in with you the past couple weeks. Oh, and one more win. How about this? Let's cue you guys up. I'd love to know what you guys are doing. I'm sure we're all very busy with the holidays, Christmas shopping and everything. Maybe your win is that you finished your Christmas shopping. Maybe your win is that you found the perfect gift for somebody, based on the tips that you got from me last week. Let me know what you're working on right now, what your wins are. What's making you smile today. Let me know if you're struggling through something. Let me know if this is a tough time of year for you and you just are kind of wait until January to kind of get everything over with. Let's hear how you're feeling. Let's see if we can support you. We've got a pretty good audience live right now, which is really awesome. I'm so happy when so many people watch live. And I love, if you're watching this in the replay too, thank you so much. I love that you're watching the replay. So while you guys are typing in your comments into the chat, I am just going to kind of circle back from last week's episode where I gave you guys a bunch of tips on gift giving, how to be a thoughtful gift giver. Now, I don't think a lot of you noticed this, but on Monday night, I couldn't sleep because I was so distraught about the graphics that I had last Monday. And I know that you guys were, very encouraging and everything, but I have a Lynn standard, which is I want things to be done the best that I can. And I knew I could do better, even if it was just a small thing. So after last week's episode, I stayed on in my studio here and kept messing around with things until I figured it out. And I do appreciate Paul Burke because he messaged me immediately after the show and he's like, hey, if you need help, I got you. And I'm like, I'm going to figure this out, but thank you so much. So I wanted to just share with you guys, I did get the graphics fixed. I couldn't sleep Tuesday night. I re-recorded the episode. I think it was on Tuesday or Wednesday. And I put it up on my YouTube channel. And I didn't even care if anyone watched it. I just had to do it for myself. So it was like a little win for me. And I called it a mini session with Lynn. But I just want to show you guys, this is how it was intended to be. See, I'm off to the side. I've got the graphics are real nice over here. Even a little cutout with the presents. Isn't that fun? And then I was able to, go through it and record it, and it turned out very nice. So if you didn't catch last week's episode and you want to see a nice polished version, it is listed in the videos on my YouTube channel. But if you saw last week's episode, it's going to give you all the same information. It's just looks a little bit cleaner. Anyway, so that's just a little win that I have. All right, let's check out what you guys are doing. Calm down, Lynn. I have so many smiles in me. Oh my gosh. Okay. Got a win in my league. Nice, Elliot. On the last kick of the game. Oh, I love those. Scoring the game-winning game in itself is amazing, but doing it in the last second, that's amazing. That's one of those, you'll remember that game for a while type of thing. So way to go on that. That's awesome. We've got a busy week. This week starts our broom ball on Tuesdays, soccer on Wednesdays, live stream on Mondays, and then on Thursday this week, we're actually meeting up with Elliot to go meet our congressperson. And actually, I don't know if it's our congressperson, but a congressperson, which I've never been invited to one of those, so I'm pretty excited. Okay. This is good. Okay, just waiting for Santa. Tree is up. Shopping is done. Well, that's exciting. I didn't even give you my list. You must have taken all those tips from last week to heart. Cards are mailed too. That's a great feeling. So Bert and I talked about it. We're not doing cards this year. I think I'm going to just reach out to people. I don't know. We're not very good at cards. Anyways, okay. Mulch better. I know you meant much better. We're not talking about mulching around here, but I'm glad that you like the graphics. Thanks, Dad. Oh my goodness. Hello, Savita. Hi. Thanks for stopping by. Thanks for the wave. Always great to see you. Okay, Laura. Oh my goodness. We did have some tornadoes down here in Tennessee. It mostly impacted our home church. Oh no. On Sunday, instead of having our normal service, we helped our community and helped chop up trees and clean up. Well, that's much better. Did that work there? Laura, that is such a great story. I love when people come together to help. It's such a good feeling. You're like, this is what being human is about. This is community. This is humanity. I love that. That's such a great story. Everyone was so thankful and sweet as we helped them out. It's such a good feeling, right? When people are appreciative of that, and it's humbling. I love it. That's such a great story. Thank you so much for sharing that with us today. I really appreciate that. Oh, I love that. It's just another reason to smile today. Take these days, guys. Take these days as they come. You've seen me up and down. You know how sad and scary and lonely, some of these days can be. Days like today when things are aligning and going right. It's very easy to be like, okay, when's the other shoe going to drop, right? When's this all going to end? All this good is just setting me up for something that's going to go terribly wrong. But you know what? I'm not going to think that way. Today I'm just going to appreciate all the warmth, all the things I'm grateful for. Yes, and it feels good to help. It feels good to feel good. CK, well, I'm so happy that you're here. No worries that you're late. It's awesome that you're eating family with dinner. That's also a really wonderful thing to feel good about. Bert and I made, Bert made it, potato and leek soup over the weekend. It was so delicious. And he's like, what do you want to have with it? I'm like, well, why don't we put it in bread bowls? And he thought I was crazy because that's not usually something I would ask for. But he got some sourdough loaves at the store because it was kind of a last minute thing. We weren't going to be able to make our own sourdough bowls. But carve those out, put the potato leek soup on the inside. Oh my God, it's so good. And the best part is that there's leftovers, and that's what's for dinner tonight. So yes, it was delicious, CK. I highly recommend it. It's a great wintertime comfort food. And I don't think it's that bad for you either because it's got potatoes and leeks, right? It's good for you. Anyway, I'm going to wrap it up, guys. I'm going to go take all this happy energy. I'm going to have a nice dinner with Bert. Hopefully do a little bit more work on the house so that things are coming together and we can keep moving forward in our journey. This felt great. Thanks for hanging out with me today. Thanks for celebrating your wins. If you're having a rough day, I hope that I brought a little bit more cheer to your day. And I hope everybody has, a nice week leading up to the holidays. And if you're watching and you're going through your own fertility journey or you just need someone to listen, feel free to reach out to me. I'm here. I like being here for you because I know you're here for me. So, yeah. Thanks, CK. Lots of wins that I shared at the beginning. And awesome, Mom. Bread bowls. I made chicken and wild rice soup. Dad made sourdough bread. I heard. Oh my God. It might have been kind of inspiration for our meal the other day. Okay. I'm going to wrap this up. Thank you guys so much for watching. I'm going to roll the credits, play a little music at the end here, and I will see you guys next week. Have a great week. Woo! Whoop! And bye!